What's up, internet? Time for part, I don't know, part four, five, six of my read through of the Milo Manara Le Opere series. I think I'm up to volume, what am I on? Volume six? El Gaucho. No, volume seven, El Gaucho. And I'm going to review two in this video, actually. El Gaucho and I forget the title, Lo Scimmiotto, the one that's based on Journey to the West. We'll get to it. Stick around. But first, we're going to look at El Gaucho, which is the second, co-written by, what's his name, Hugo Pratt. So this is kind of a similar historical drama of sorts. And let's take a look. Manara did the art. It's fascinating when another artist like Hugo Pratt chooses to work with another artist. Here's Manara. All right, so El Gaucho takes place, I think, in Argentina. Is that? Let's just get right through it. There's some. Oh, these are actually in the footnotes and stuff. There's sketches, the original sketches that Hugo Pratt did, which is, he's an artist too, so he did like a not a fully realized version of thumbnails or whatever you want to call them. It's kind of fascinating to see him kind of hand off the drawing chores to another person, and I cannot read this handwriting at all. Oh, here's some more of the preview art, which is I used to do kind of stories like this where I would kind of sketch something out that I would either draw later on or I think I even asked at a convention once an artist, J.H. Williams III. I asked him about if any other writers did something like that, but he couldn't remember any. All right, so El Gaucho begins kind of with a flashback and framing sequence and beautiful art right away, which whenever I see Manara draw stuff like horses and deserts, it just reminds me of Mobius, and he does it so well. Very good. And I think I like this in color. I like the look of his color. I think this is my favorite of his color styles. Like, I don't like the painting as much. It's good, but I think it just looks better with this kind of simple toned work. And yeah, so we get this, and apparently this was being considered to be sort of a series, but this is the only one with this characters. But he flashes back. He's like 100 and something now, or I forget how old he is, living with these Native Americans and just smoking. And this guy shows up and he says, "Oh, you're a white guy. I never guessed. And tell me your story." So we get a flashback, and I have to say that the kind of the politics and the scenes with just talking were not that interesting to me, but could be because I found those the most difficult for my level of Italian. It's not, I couldn't follow it, the kind of the logic exactly. Basically, that there were different countries that were at odds with each other. That's about what I walked away with. And, but anyways, I liked more the drama aspects. There was these kind of characters, this hunchback character who is kind of a, I don't know, there's all these like prostitutes or just women they take along with them on the voyage, and at some point they let them loose on the high-ranking officials. But like pages like this, I didn't really like this because just a lot of talk, and you know me, I'm a very shallow guy. It's like, get to the action. And there's kind of this main character they zoom in on. I forget her name already, but she seems like she kind of likes this guy Tom, and then, but he has to go to the land and gets separated, and they're separated for a long while. I love this part. Like, this is actually the kind of work that I think might look even better in black and white. This reminds me of the Giuseppe Bergman, a few of the episodes where he's out in the jungle or whatever. Manara really does know how to draw just like anything, I think. I found out recently that he was, I think, an architecture student too before he became a comics artist, which would help explain why he's so good at drawing, technical things like this ship and buildings, but also humans and nature. So I couldn't follow this. They just kill this guy and throw him overboard, and I wasn't like clear like what, why, But so I didn't. I would say I didn't like this one quite as much as what was the first one called? It all began in Indian Summer. I think Indian Summer's the English title. I like that one a little more. But I feel like both of them. I feel like they're a little. They could be cleaned up a little, like the storylines. Art is always beautiful in Manara. I'm actually getting. Well, actually, we'll show you next. I'll show you next. The the monkey one, which is I think the earliest Manara art that I've seen in this series, or maybe even period, from 1976. And I, when I get there, I don't recognize this. I have no problem recognizing as Manara. It's the women have a certain look to them. It's just the line work. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind it's Manara. But when I get to the other one, yeah, I wasn't clear. I'm gonna kind of skip over the end because if you do want no spoilers, there's a bit of a spoiler. But yeah, this is beautiful art and stories. Okay, I don't know if I quite appreciate it. I should probably go back and read it again when my Italian's better. But for the most part, I feel like I follow most of the stories pretty well. It's just I think the more technical they get, the more I get a lot of words I don't know. But anyways, that was El Gaucho, and the other one that I recently looked at was kind of a strange cover they chose, uh, Lo Scimmiotto, which I think means the monkey. And but the monkey's the main character. I don't know who this woman is, but I guess it's just pick a character that looks like maybe the women on the cover sell more copies from Manara books than a monkey. But yeah, this is an adaptation. Manara did not do the writing on this one. He was adapted by some other dude. I don't remember his name. Doesn't matter. So yeah, this art style, I don't think I mean, if you didn't tell me this was Manara, I'm not sure I would guess. I would guess maybe Barry Windsor Smith or John Buscema or something. It doesn't look, it looks coming out of the late 60s, early 70s, that style. But I mean, look at the women. They don't look like Manara women that I've come to know him as. I mean, beautiful pages though. Every page is just like very psychedelic influence. I think said they were trying to make each page look almost like a poster. So you can see how, in some ways, black and white does really do a lot of justice to his art. Sorry, my dog's barking. Deal with it. I had trouble with this story too. I feel like there were a lot of terms that oh, and also the lettering. I did not care for this lettering. I don't know if this is maybe somebody else was doing the lettering, or it's just it was a choice that Manara made at this point, but it does not work for me. It's kind of hard to read even. What do you guys think of the lettering? I think unless you have a really good reason to use a non-standard lettering like this, do something easier. Near the very end, it starts to get really. I mean, the story veers away from Journey to the West quite a bit. I think I haven't read Journey to the West, but I kind of know the outline of it, and I think they didn't adapt at all. They made a lot of very modern changes, added a lot of modern psychedelic touches, and I was okay with that. I wasn't looking for I don't think any of Manara's adaptations are trying to be exact in every detail with the source material. I think he's more interested in just telling a good story and adding some scene where women can undress. Oh wow, look at that. To me, this art. Who does this look like? Yeah, that was Barry Windsor Smith and John Buscema was the styles that I was, or also maybe P. Craig Russell. He does a lot of fantasy art. I associate him with this kind of inking. It does look very different though. This page this looks so cosmic and 70s, like Jim Starlin type stuff. I think Manara, if he had wanted to be working on like Doctor Strange, he probably could have got that job if he wanted. I don't know if he ever had any interest though in working in American comics or for like corporate titles like that. And then this, I mean, the art style here seems to almost change, and this reminds me of like Sakai or maybe even like Gru the Wanderer type Sergio, that type of stuff. There's almost like a change in style, and this looks very Mobius. This line work so Mobius, like this thin line, but very controlled hatching. Yeah, and I have to confess though, I was definitely not following this completely, and I I got lost with some of what was happening. I think just because it's also a very unconventional narrative that the way that Manara wants to deliver it. I would like to see. I would have liked to see her. I mean, he's still alive, but I would love to see a fully cartooned version of something by Menard. Like absolutely no attempts at like this kind of realism. Just pure as cartoony as possible. I would love to see that. I don't know if he ever has that interest though. I mean, these pages are just wonderful. This hand, like, what is happening here? Oh yeah, he has to. He gets in like some bet with Buddha that he has to. He tries to jump over his hand or something, and he thinks he jumps to the other side of the planet or something, but it's really still just the other half of Buddha's hand, because where he left his graffiti, "Sono arrivato qui," is actually just a finger. He thought he was in some. It's a deep metaphor. Just deal with it. Okay, and that's the end. Apparently, also when he was, I guess the in Manara's mind, or I don't know, the writer, they were thinking that the monkey god guy was Chairman Mao, and I guess on the day when Manara was finishing this last page, he had the radio on, and they announced the death of Mao Zedong. Which, what are the odds of that? That seems like a pretty incredible coincidence. I don't know how long you worked on this. But yeah, it's fascinating, especially in terms of Manara's development, to see him using a drawing style that doesn't immediately like from about 1980 on. I feel like like he doesn't even need to sign the work. It's like obviously a Manara work, but this could be numerous artists. So very interesting stuff. Not my favorite story by any means. This, from what I understood, either of these, but beautiful art as always. And then in the back, there's these. I guess these prints were done for some kind of a set that Manara did about the French Revolution. So scenes from the French Revolution, just a total jump in content. And he seems to be using some kind of watercolor, I think. I kind of like this style too, though. This long shot where you don't need to show all the details of the faces, so you just do a very. It's almost like a yeah thumbnails. Oh, this was kind of nice. The death of what's his name, Marat. I don't remember. The thing is, I don't know the French Revolution. I mean, I know the French Revolution, but I don't know the story well enough to identify all these characters and all these what was happening on each day. So maybe I'm missing some of the nuance, but I still enjoy it. This painting, I wouldn't know this was Manara. This is so. I mean, this is beautiful. I love this. All right, that's about it. This is the execution of Robespierre. Yeah, for as much as Manara is known for being like a pretty artist, I think he's also like he would have been. I mean, that'd be another thing I'd love to see him do is like a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, full horror mode. Maybe combine the two, full cartoony and full horror. That'd be wonderful. All right, so that's the end of that one. I think my next one is Il Gioco, the toy. I forget what it's called. I think that's Click in English, but I don't know. We'll see when I get to it. So maybe I'll group a few more of these volumes together. Just depends on how I'm feeling. See you there. Bye.